ahead.
No, okay, yeah, because I was just.
Now the reason why I said that, that's why the Lord told Noah, when you take your animals before you eat it, you got to drain the blood. Because back before that, they wasn't doing that, man.
Yeah, God.
They wasn't doing that.
Now the reason he probably told them to do it because the Most High knew that they were gonna eat the animals after they came out the ark.
Yeah, that's why the Most High. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because we were still, but they were still sacrificing animals too.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. Exactly. They wouldn't eat.
No, but in the movie, Tubal Cain was eating them animals on them.
Was that Tubal? Yeah, that was Tubal. Yeah, it was Tubal. Yeah. That was polite in the reincarnation.
He snuck on the ark and was eating the animals.
All right, this is Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. And the power blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, and upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
See? So he's breaking it down. Every living thing that... Now, it don't mean everything. It means everything according to the law.
Right, because he had the clean and the unclean animals. So every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things.
There it is. Even as a green herb, because that was the meat.
All right, so this is the book of Genesis chapter 10. Oh, keep on reading? Okay. Salakia. Okay, all right. It says, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. That was it on that.
Go ahead, whoever got it, go ahead.
All right. So, this is the book of Genesis chapter 10. You want to read it?
This is Genesis chapter 10, verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were the sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Midian, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus.
Right, so it says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now those are the three sons that repopulated the whole earth. Shem was the father of the Hebrews and of other nations of people. Ham is the father of the so-called Africans. And Japheth is the father of the so-called, you call them today, Polynesian people. You know, that live in the South Pacific today. You know, like you had the Etruscans, those were the first Romans. You know, Romulus and Remus were Etruscans. They weren't Edomites. You know, then you had the Minoans, you know, and other groups, the Picts, you know, they had other groups of Japhites out there, you know, that today would be called Polynesian people. All right. It says the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshach and Tyrus. Now, when it says Gomer, you know, according to some so-called scholars, Gomer would be in the land of Turkey today. You know, Gomer, Magog was the Russians up in the area between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Georgia, Russia, up in that area, because as the Apostle Tahar brought out last week, the land of Russia wasn't populated because it was vast, you know. So the people were migrating from Mesopotamia, you know, in that area, and they were migrating out. So eventually, as the people got more and more, they started venturing off into those higher parts in the north, you know. But before that, the land of Gog and Magog was down there around the what they call today Georgia, Russia, or southern Russia today. You know, it says, Madai, which is where the Medes come from. You know, you had the Persians and the Medes. The Medes came out of the line of Madai, which is Japhet. And remember, all these people back then were all dark-skinned people, people of color. You know, it says, and Japhet was not the white man, for you clowns out there. It says, and Javan. Now, when you look up the word Javan in the Hebrew, it comes from the Hebrew word Yawan, which means the Greeks, because the island, not the island, but the land of Greece, as it's called today, was populated by Javan, you know, which later on in history became known as the Ionians, you know, which is a derivative of the word Yawan, you know, in the Hebrew, you know. So all those people there in those islands in the Mediterranean and up in Europe, they were all brown-skinned people. That's who the sons of Japhet were or are. And then when the so-called white men came in there, which they came in through Macedonia and Greece, they started pushing out all the dark nations and repopulating the whole earth and changing the names of all these lands. That's why today there's not that many lands that are called after their ancient names. You know, but you do still have some places that have those ancient names because the Lord allowed it to be so, such as the Euphrates River, which is still called the Euphrates River, which is what it was called back when it was created. All right. It says, and Meshech and Tyrus. All right. So Tyrus is down there where matter of fact, because you had a Tyrus that were Hamites, you know, like Tyre and Zidon. Those are Canaanites, you know. But I believe this might be a different Tyrus. If not, it may be the same one. T-I-R. I'm sorry. Con. T-I-R-A-S. Con. And that, I mean, the other Tyrus is spelled differently, you know, for the Hamites. So I don't know if there is a play on the same name or same, you know.
No, it mentions Genesis 10:2 and it mentions 2 Chronicles 1:5, 1 Chronicles 1:5.
Right. So yes, the other Tyrus is T-Y R-U-S. Yeah, so it's two different Tyruses, you know. So this particular Tyrus, this was, like I said, the Japhites land. And when you look on those ancient maps, they show you where some of these lands are located or around the area where they were located. You know, because these are so-called archaeologists, you know, they don't have 100%. They're not 100% sure about every little thing, you know, because
they got to fill in the gaps, man.
That's right, you know, because they're going into it blindly too, because they don't know the scriptures, you know, like the men of the Lord know the scriptures, but they do go and do some research and dig up certain areas where these particular nations were, and that's how they find certain tablets and certain relics, you know, to let them know what particular people lived in that area, what language they spoke, what customs they kept, what type of buildings they were building. You know, that's all that archaeology is a study of the ancient, study of the ancients. It says, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Riphath, and
you gotta go into Ashkenaz, because as soon as a nigga find the word Ashkenaz, that proves that they're white people. So you got the Ashkenazi Jews. It was a bunch of crackers that call themselves that, man, not the other way around. You don't even know what the word means, man. It means scattered fire.
Yeah, Ashkenaz and Ripha and Togarmah. And like I said, some of these names you'll see them in ancient maps. You'll see them in the land of Turkey, you know, and certain other places in Europe, you know, because that's where these lands were located at. All right, it says. And the sons of Javan, which is the sons of the Greeks, but these were the real Greeks, you know, the Japhetic people, you know, the like Etruscans and them dark-skinned Greeks. and not the dark-skinned Jakes of that land either. It says, and the sons of Javan, Elisha and Tarshish, Kittim and Dodanim. Now Tarshish, when you look up Tarshish is the ancient name for the land of Spain. You know, it's called Spain now, Portugal, but in the ancient times it was called Tarshish. You know, and that's where you had like ships that would come out of Tarshish, like the scriptures speak about the ships of Tarshish. You know, that was like a main hub or main port, just like Alexandria, Egypt was a main hub or